Thanks for the support as a channel member, Matthew Willoughby. No, I have absolutely no idea what the Europa Conference League is either. But we've got a chance of getting into it. We're in the Championship group. We're not doing too badly. If we keep improving the way we are, we might have a little European tour, which presumably starts in like mid-June, and we'll get knocked out fairly early on. But it's an excuse to travel, isn't it? Go and sample new cultures, taste new foods. We might even get to go to Italy. Hello, welcome to part 21 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games in the Super League for you. We're away against PAOK and at home against Panathinaikos. We've played 3 games since qualifying for the Championship group. We lost to Aris, the team directly above us, but it was away from home. But we then got a draw against top-of-the-table Olympiakos at home before beating local rivals AEK Athens at home 2-0. As you can see, Damien, now he's match fit, he's starting to score as well. Scored in every game since we've been in the Championship group, the last 3 games. And this is what it looks like. We're 4 points behind Aris, but we do have a game in hand on them. We've obviously got to play them again at home. And we're in reasonable form. If we sort it by form, we're the oh no, that's the... We do it that way. We're second bottom on form, but we are in better form than PAOK, who we played today. Presumably they've played the other really good teams early on. But if we can get a draw away against them, beat Panathinaikos at home, and then beat Aris at home, we've got a chance going into the final few games of a really unlikely European qualification. So this is the team that we're going to be putting out there to try and do part 1 of that job. We've got Brinoli in goal, and back for Giannoutsos, Kios, Svarnas and Kalapitas. Labru at the base of the midfield, Duffy and Androutsos ahead of him, Zaidas and Nacho supporting Damien up front. Damien is playing well, he's dangerous, he's quick, he's tall, he's a good finisher. He is my perfect striker, and now he's match fit. He is really dangerous as well. So hopefully he'll keep that going in today's game. There's gonna come a game before this season is done, I am sure, where he grabs 2, 3, 4 goals because he's looking so dangerous. Watch him not even be in the game today, but he looks like the real deal. And we've finally got a midfield set up to feed a player like that. So I mean, there's lots of positives. I know a couple of the players, Duffy and Damien, are here on loan, but they are on loan from our affiliate club, so there's a chance we could get them again next year. But we are starting to assemble a team that looks like we're going to be a good side next year. Hopefully we won't have the early iffy spells that we had. And it's all thanks, of course, to Ryan Lawson, who, bringing all that money into the club, allowed us to go out and spend on a few of these players, build a midfield, and upgrade in some areas that needed upgrading. When our defence, we've got a bit of a conveyor belt going with defenders and defensive midfielders, even with the new youth intake that's just come through, which I'm sure you'll meet at some point. Damien's in here. Look at the pace on Damien. He uses his pace, he uses his power, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. If you hit a ball over the top or even vaguely in his direction, he's so much quicker and stronger than these Greek defenders. He's too good for this league. I'm convinced of it. He started 4 feet behind that defender and just used pace and power to charge past him, and he's a solid finisher as well. And I worry a little bit that he's playing so well that we might not get him back next year because Southampton might want to have a proper look at him. But that's 4 goals in 4 games now since we've been in this Championship group. And as things stand, we're only 1 point behind Aris, knowing that we've got to play them at home before this season is done, with potentially a spot in Europe at stake. It's getting exciting. We're hitting some good form at the right time. Cross comes in and somehow it's not ended up in the back of the net. I'm not quite sure how that's happened, but I'm certainly not going to complain that it has. And we build again through Kios, and it's back to Svarnas, who plays it forward to Nacho, who's been quiet, but that's a nice little bit of football to play Zaidas in. And of course, we've got Damien in the middle. Cross comes in, looking for anyone, probably not Kalapitas, who's the man who eventually gets there. He has a go at crossing there. And Androutsos is there, and it bobbles, and Damien was lurking, that even he's not quick enough to latch on to a ball that was was actually not that loosely controlled by the goalkeeper. But Kalapitas now looking for the long throw. It's hurled in. Nacho's there. And Androutsas, is he onside? Are we looking at the referee? I don't think we are. I think it's been given. Androutsas, a 6th goal of the season for him. It's 2-0 to Apollon. We're piling on the misery for PAOK, who are really, really struggling since the changeover into this championship group, and they have a big lump of stupid stood there behind the goalkeeper playing Androutsas onside. I ain't going to argue with that at all. We're 2-0 up. Happy, happy days. Don't let your performance levels drop. Lovely, lovely stuff. More of that in the second half, please. Androutsas is loving this new system as well. He's really flourishing from being able to just play in this sort of position almost between the midfield and the attack, playing as the attacking Mezzala. He's just getting forward so much more than when he was a playmaker, even though theoretically that suits him more. But as you've seen by a 6-goal return, he's too good a finisher, too good a goal scorer to be wasted faffing around doing passing. We haven't got time for passing. Let's just score goals. Right, 20 minutes left to go. Zaidas can come off for Duffy, and we've got Calavera who can come on and play in there. We make him a box-to-box midfielder. I'm going to also bring on Halilaj to play in there, to switch the playmaker to back there, just so we have someone doing some playmaking. And that will do for now. And we just need to hold on. Let's drop a little bit of praise because we are doing very well. We're away from home against a team who at various points this year have been right up there challenging for the title. And we're doing a job on them today, and this is good. We don't have anyone really to come on and fit the positions where I'd quite like to bring someone on. So on that basis, I think I won't make a final change. Why force a change through when you don't have to do? And I know it's my routine to always make a change there, but sometimes you have to mix things up. What's the worst that can happen? Maybe you can mix things up by joining me on Twitch 4 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, 8 p.m, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. We have lots of fun there. I plug YouTube there as much as I plug Twitch here, so it's only fair. Androutsas is in, though, and it falls to Duffy, and there is our 3rd goal. It's PAOK 0, Apollon 3. And if we can carry this form through to the rest of this season, we're going to qualify for Europe, boys and girls. This is not expected. This is not on the cards. We're only in our 3rd season of this save, and this was not expected, but is very, very welcome. And that is a very tidy finish from Duffy, who's also... I mean, Duffy and Damien have been absolutely instrumental to the change in fortunes. And it took us so long to scout Southampton. Southampton became our parent club 18 months ago. And it took us a year and a half to identify 2 players we could potentially bring on loan who would improve us. But we eventually got there. And I mean, we could have had him. We could have had him from the start of the season. We'd be pushing for the Champions League if we had. That was a fantastic result. Now we need to carry that form through into the next game, try and pick up another win, and start moving up this championship group, which would be awesome. Right, no changes for the Panathinaikos match then. Why would I make changes after how well we played against PAOK? Panathinaikos are in better form than PAOK were, but we're the home team now, and we're in good form. Go out there and carry on where you pick up where you left off in the last match. Imagine if I actually did the team talk like that. They'd think I was a crazy person. So, as it stands right now, we're level on points with Aris, but they've got a better head-to-head, but we've still got to play them. We're 1 point behind PAOK. We're 6 points behind Panathinaikos, but of course we're playing them right now. And we've already beaten AEK Athens, who are the team currently up in 2nd place. So, fingers crossed, we start to turn the Georgios Kamaras Stadium into something of a fortress. Zaidas has done well to get in here, and he's clear through on goal. Zaidas can't quite force the ball past the goalkeeper. You can tell it's a big game because there's loads of fans on the bottom tier, and they're in stripy shirts too. They must be our boys. In swinging corner, but there's no one there lurking on the far post. I mean, there's still plenty of empty seats as well. It's not a sellout by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good to see this big old ground with lots of people in it, because the more often we have lots of people in it, hopefully the less likely we are to build the new one that we're looking at that's too small to play in the Champions League. I mean, European qualification, it's not just something we want because it would be nice to qualify for Europe so early. I want to do it to send a message to Mrs Wearmouth. Bear in mind, I talk to that woman on the phone every day, but I have to send a message on the pitch. Damien's in here and scores, and it's 5 in 5 from Damien. He's loving the Championship group. And as it turns out right now, can't use words today. We're up to 4th, is what I'm trying to say. Androutsos does brilliantly, and Damien is never missing from there. Lovely finish from Damien, who is already, I mean, I'd be putting him on the legends list of this club already because he's single-handedly firing us into Europe as it stands. And as I linking that back into what I was saying before, if we qualify for Europe, we need to have a ground fit for Europe. So for as long as we're playing in European competition, we're not going to build a ground too small to play in European competition. That's my theory. Calapetas plays it into Nacho. Damien's there again. It's 6 from 5 now in the Championship group for Damien. And it's Apollon 2, Panathinaikos 0. And this is ridiculous. It's almost getting to the point with 5 games still to play after this one. It's almost getting to the point where I'm going to tentatively look at where the cutoff from Conference League to Europa League is. I think top 2 get Champions League qualification spots. I mean, they're all qualification spots. Nobody goes straight through to the group stage from Greece. But I think top 2 is Champions League qualifiers, and then next 2 is Europa League qualifiers. Because I think the bottom 2 are conference qualifiers. Maybe it's 3rd place and cup winners get Europa League qualifiers, and then Damien's got his hat-trick. I told you this was going to happen. I said sooner or later he'll play a team and just score 3 or 4 goals against him. Well, there you go. He's got 3 goals today. It's Damien 3, Panathinaikos 0, and this is now 7 from 5 since the Championship group has started, since this man has been match fit. I warned you it would happen. I've been saying for a year that we just needed a striker and that Louris wasn't the man. And I think that's now clear that we needed this kind of striker. And there's number 4, and it's Labru with an absolutely stunning goal from way out. And it's 4-0 now to Apollon. We're only 3 points behind Panathinaikos as things stand. And if we can keep this form going, I'm constantly going to give you big ifs. There's ifs constantly. If we can keep this ridiculous run of form going, we are going to be playing in Europe, which I'm promised. European qualification is where the money comes from in Greece. It's the only time you ever get any kind of money. Now, I don't know what kind of money is attached to the Europa Conference League or even the Europa League. I know the Champions League is very lucrative. I don't know how much money is involved in either of the other European competitions, and obviously the money starts to flow when you hit the group stages. Oh, Damien's injured. Oh, that's a problem. I said there was ifs. One of the biggest ifs is if Damien can stay fit, we're just going to take him off straight away to protect him. He's got his hat-trick, but I'm not leaving him on the pitch for a moment longer than we need to. Santa Maria can come on and play in a similar role. We're going to drop a little bit of praise as well because we are playing very, very well. But I would suggest financially it would be better for us to hit the Conference League group stages than get knocked out of the Champions League in the first qualifying round. I don't know if that's actually the case, but I assume financially that would be the case. We want to get into a group stage, and the best chance of us doing that is in the Conference League, I would suggest. Right, 4-1 now as Panathinaikos look to edge themselves back into the game. Androutsos plays it across to Labru. Nacho's there, looking ahead of him, trying to slot Santa Maria in. Gorka's there, and it's only his 2nd goal of the season, but the team's playing well, and all of a sudden, Gorka Santa Maria has remembered how to score goals. I think he got 10 or 12 goals for us last year. We made him club captain, and then I don't think I've started him all season because Louris was the man in possession, and then we went with Damien, but we had Santa Maria here all along, and perhaps should have shown a little bit of faith in him earlier on when I was struggling with Louris. It's a shame for Louris because he's not a bad player. He's just not a player who fits into the way I want to play. Right, we're going to change up the midfield. Duffy's going to come off. Calavera's going to come on. We're going to play him as a box-to-box midfielder. And despite me saying, let's not waste Androutsos as a playmaker, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Get him in there in that playmaker role. We're 5-1 up. we can experiment a little. We're 5-1 up against Panathinaikos. This is madder than when we beat them and knocked them out of the Greek Cup in that first season. Kalapitas is tiring, so we're going to take... we've played Andriopoulos at right back a couple of times now. So it's another option for all these offensive midfielders we've got. Get them, as well as getting them into central midfield, get a few of them into fullback positions as well, where they generally match up quite well for similar skill sets. Corner came in just over. And it looks like we've won 5-1. We've won 5-1. Yeah, they've brought on a player called Kevin. I kind of want to sign him. He's got a great name. That was a very good performance, but we do need to check in on Damien, because as fun as that looks now, with 5 games still to play, I'm not confident at all of finishing anywhere other than 6th if we have to do it without Damien. Oh, 2 or 3 weeks. Tell me there's an international break. 2 or 3 weeks. He's going to miss the next 2 games, but he should be back for the end of the season. I think what we'll do is we'll come back for the final 2 games of the season, which is PAOK and Panathinaikos again, just the reverse fixtures. But we'll play the games without Damien offline because they'll be miserable. And then he'll be back for AEK, PAOK and Panathinaikos, hopefully. Just cross everything, boys and girls. Hopefully we're going to Europe. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.